Race fans, hello and welcome. Thursday night, it is officially above the cushion night here for FOE Enterprises Humboldt Speedway, 81 Speedway. Of course, you can see we got Jesse Hamm in the studio with us, 716 Derby Productions. Is that Promotions. Sorry about that. 716 Derby Promotions. We got a demo derby happening Saturday night here at 81 Speedway. And of course, we are weekly championship points racing at Humboldt on Friday. So let's kind of go over Friday night. It is Thayer, Kansas night at Humboldt Speedway. Of course, if you're a resident of Thayer, Kansas, with proper ID, get into the grandstands absolutely free. Pit's going to open at 5, grandstand at 6 o'clock. Hot lap start at 7:30, and we will get racing 8 o'clock as always, right on the dot at the famous Bull Ring in Humboldt, Kansas. Pit pass is going to be $35. Kids 5 to 10 years old, $15 into the pits. And of course, kids and under absolutely free. General admission, of course, if you're a Thayer, Kansas resident, going to be absolutely free for you to get in, as well as your senior 65 and military. If you're a Thayer, Kansas resident, it will be free. For everyone else that doesn't live in Thayer, it'll be $12 to get in for adults. Senior 65 and the military going to be $10. And of course, kids 10 and under absolutely free in to Humboldt Speedway. No outside food or drink and clear bag policy is in effect over at the Bull Ring. We're going to see the Rays Metal Depot, USRA B mods, your Extrusions Inc., Midwest mods, your Home Savings Bank factory stock, and your Wilson Automotive and Fabrication mini stock and tuners. So all four of your weekly championship points classes in contention over there for Thayer, Kansas night at Humboldt Speedway on Friday. Now, moving on to Saturday, Spring Break Beatdown Demolition Derby going to happen right here on the front stretch of the Speedway, and we'd love for you to be here. For all you competitors, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, pit gate's going to open for tech at 10:30, grandstands at 4 o'clock, action starts at 6 on the dot. Pit pass is $25. Children under age of 12 not allowed into the pit area for safety concerns. Entry fee to compete, $50. And of course, contact the man to my right if you have any questions. We will get all of that out there. General admission into the grandstand is going to be $15 for adults. Kids 6 to 12 is $6. Kids 5 and under, absolutely free. J.R. Sartain already chiming in. So I bring up the text messages all the time with him. But man, it's good to meet you. It's good to see you.
Good to meet you.
I know nothing about Derby.
Nothing about derbies.
No, nothing about Derby. Now, JR claims that he's the greatest derbier ever in the world.
He might be.
And he never says it around Katie. So I think Katie has something else to say about it. But already with the questions coming in. But let's talk about the Derby. Talk about what you guys are doing, and then let's talk about Saturday night a little bit.
Okay. About 3 years ago, we got started some local shows, county fairs, and my brother and I got this going, and the wife's been helping out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of what we've seen was some county fairs kind of just dying out a little bit, not getting very good car counts. I wanted to try to help that. We did, and we just decided to give it a try. And a lot of drivers at some drivers meetings asked if I would try to do this, and kind of had some time on my hands, so we did it. And we had 3 shows my first year. Last year we ended up having 5 shows. Okay. This year is we're up to 6.
Nice.
We were seeing, before we got started, we were seeing some of these county fairs having 12 cars to 20 cars at the night's event, and last year I felt it was a very successful year. We finally picked it up from 30 to 50, almost 60 cars at each event. So
60 cars.
Yeah, it was Hillsboro last year ended up being 59 cars. Newton was 56.
Okay.
So almost got close to that 60 car count, and just kind of want to keep we want to just kind of keep moving forward and trying to get the car counts up more. One thing that we bring to it is we have some experience derbying ourselves, my brother and I.
That's what I've heard.
And we know what it's like derbying. We also know what it's like going through inspections. The biggest thing that we try to do is show a lot of respect to guys that are putting the time and effort into these cars. trying to put on a show for the spectators and try to treat them fair. And usually it's pretty good turnout with people, and the drivers seem to be happy. And that's what I want, is drivers and spectators to be happy, feel like they got their money's worth, and have a good evening.
So we've been sharing the stuff on Facebook, and then if someone has a question about class or whatever, we always refer to the page, and then your wife's name's Bridget.
Yes.
Bridget does an absolutely fantastic job. She kills it every time.
Yes.
But I go over there and I look at the classes. So talk about the classes we're going to have Saturday night.
All right.
And I saw some questions about what does this mean? And you guys had a real, it's this class, but we added this, or, so talk about that.
Yeah, we have 5 classes. I think we have a good mix of people either just wanting to start, not spending much money, maybe not having to do as much work. So the 5 classes is we got a bone stock minivan class this year.
All right.
There ain't much you can really do to them except take those windows out and make it a safe car to drive, and get a cage in there and tear it up. Then after that, we have bone stock compact class.
Okay.
Little front wheel drive cars.
Okay.
If they hit the correct wheelbase, 108 inches or less, you can have a rear wheel drive in that class. They can't have V8 engines.
Okay. So 108 from center of spindle to center of spindle.
Yes, sir.
If it's that or less, then you can have a rear wheel drive.
Yes.
Because I think someone asked that I've been trying to follow Bridget. She does an absolutely fantastic job.
I've been trying to help her.
I can't wait to meet her. She does a great job answering the questions. Okay.
And then the front wheel drive 110 inches and less. So,
okay.
But yeah, we'll mix them all together and have a good old time there.
Okay.
After that, we have an 80s and newer bone stock class. Ain't much you can really do there except get the cages.
Okay.
You can have headers out the hood for a young kid that wants a little bit of noise out of their engine.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's pretty cheap and inexpensive in a way. So after that, we created this year a outlaw hobo class. It's allows a little bit more welding to the frame. Having a bigger cage inside of it, you can run 80s iron or 70s, 60s iron.
Oh, okay.
We don't allow the Imperials and stuff like that in that class. Stuff that's been outlawed for a lot of years. You can't do that in there. But once we get through that, then we have our final main event of the weld class. A lot of other people have other names for it. It's just weld, weld, weld. You're allowed a lot of extra plate on the frame, kickers from your cage to your frame, engine cradles, stuff like that, stuff that makes it tough for them cars to bend. A lot of people have a lot of money wrapped up in their engines, drivetrain, and time and welding wire is so it's a whole different ball game there compared to the bone stock. So kind of have a class for everyone to try to come and have a little fun with.
So it sounds like kind of 3 economical classes.
Yeah.
Average person can get into it, and then you've been doing a couple of them, you step it up, and then you doing it for a long time.
Yep. Beginner
like a JR doing it for a long time. Because I think that the question was the weld up. Someone said, "What is the weld up?" And then you guys said, "Yeah, it's basically this."
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's I don't know, the way JR used to build cars, I mean, usually he wasn't even allowed to get into most shows, but
so for someone like me that's so in 20, I think it was 21, we had the Shane Memorial.
Shane Schaefer Showdown.
Yep. I was just here on a drinking expedition. I had a couple beers. I had a girlfriend, and her dad was actually a big derbier, Bill Foley.
Okay. Bill very well.
Yep, was dating her. Mariah's her name, was dating her, and we hung out. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready for dinner. Like, let's go get something to eat. And so we left, but I didn't pay too much attention to what's going on. So tell me how someone wins.
Okay. Yeah. These will be a one and done. There will not be heats come Saturday night. So pretty much the order I told you of the classes that we have is kind of the order that we're going to run in. Once we drop the green flag, it's all go.
Okay.
And the last man standing with the flag up, the last man that makes the hit, or woman that makes the hit, is the winner of that night. We do have some rules: no driver's door hits. We also do a time limit of people. They have 1 minute to make an aggressive hit. If they don't meet that, we will stop the derby. We'll put a little bit of paint on your car, letting all the drivers know that you're not hitting.
Okay.
When you're not hitting in the derby world, it's also known as sandbagging. So you don't want to kind of get that title on you. But when you do, you get a little paint on your car. And unfortunately for that person that doesn't want to be aggressive enough, we'll throw a 30-second clock on them for the remainder of that heat.
Okay.
So if they don't make an aggressive hit within 30 seconds, we'll be breaking your stick. Unfortunately, I asked the drivers not to put me in that situation. Let's go out and have fun, put it on a good show for the crowd. And they seem to do pretty darn good at it. Last season was pretty good. I had 1 or 2 times where we had to do it, unfortunately. Don't like to do it, but people came here to see a show, and we want to try to provide that for them.
Yeah. So we have the best safety crew in all of dirt track racing here at 81 Speedway and Humboldt Speedway. So Sean was here, because he wanted to know, like, where are we supposed to be? Like, they're on it. That crew is the best. I'll put them up against anyone. But so you said break the stick to him a couple times, and then you've said it. What does that mean?
So I just have a old wooden stick with a flag on the top, on the end of it.
Okay.
We duct tape it to the driver's side window pillar.
Okay.
When their car won't restart or can't move anymore, once that minute's up, I'm going to flag them and say, hey, your time's up.
Okay.
Once they break that stick, all the other drivers know that you can't be hitting them anymore. They've been eliminated. So,
okay. So if that happens and you've got everyone stopped, right, and we got a situation, can that person get out?
Usually no.
Okay.
Usually they'll see if they're watching. Sometimes they don't want to watch us too often. If they're not watching, I'll just stop the derby, go out there, and make them break their stick. They do have that chance to get out then if the derby is stopped. If the derby continues going on and they break their stick, they're just going to have to wait in there with their helmet on and wait till there's a red flag or the derby ends for that heat. So
okay. But no heats.
No heats.
No heats. It's just
5 classes
till the end. Okay. What was my? So of course, like during normal Saturday night racing, someone spins out, they're in the way, we're going to throw a yellow flag, we're going to get them. But you guys just have a red flag. That's all you got, right?
Green, red, and checkered.
Green, red, and checkered. Okay. So so what would constitute a red flag?
Fires.
Okay.
If someone happens to have an engine fire, all hoods must have a hole in it, so the safety crew can come out and use their fire extinguishers, whatnot, get the fires out. Rollovers, sometimes in derbies there are rollovers. If it does roll over, our team and the safety crew will evaluate, make sure there's no fuel spillage on the track or inside the car. If there has, more than likely, I'm just going to break their stick there. If there isn't, everything looks safe, they'll get a second chance. If they get rolled over or have a second fire, it's an automatic break your stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safety gear.
Safety.
So what I do remember from the last derby, before I got a case drank, is some of them didn't have a lot of stuff on, just kind of just a helmet. And then JR put an absolutely fantastic video together, and I'm getting paid to say that. Absolutely fantastic video together, and we posted it. And there's a couple people that they're cut off sleeves, they just got a helmet on. What are the rules for the safety gear?
It is mandatory to have a helmet. The one thing I did not enforce, or haven't enforced this year, I didn't put it out in the rules. I do want to start seeing lease drivers purchasing a fire jacket.
Okay.
This year they don't have to. There is a lot of drivers going to that now, but it's just this is supposed to be fun. We don't need to be getting hurt or
Right.
injured or die from something like this. So I will start pushing that the more we continue to do this. Some drivers even wear fire pants as well. I won't let anyone wear shorts. That's just
Yeah.
There are drivers that wear cutoffs and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And if anyone maybe wants to get a fire jacket, we encourage you to go down to Bill's Built Race Cars B2, Allen's Automotive, or of course Mel Hamilton at the Big Corner. And
awesome.
if you guys want to get some safety gear, and make sure you take care of the people that are taking care of the racing.
Goggles are a good thing too.
Yeah, goggles are a good thing. Talk a little bit about inspection. You kind of talked about want to be respectful to the racers and the competitors. Kind of talk about what you guys what that means to be respectful, and then what you're looking for in the inspection.
Yeah, well, I think it started at a young age. I think if you give respect, you'll get respect back. But at the same time, you don't want to be a pushover. It's there. You got to have some understanding. What did they do? Okay, if they have something that you're not really liking, why did they do it? You got to kind of understand why they added this plate here or made this weld here. We follow the rules very well, and we're very fair. And if we have to make them cut, we make them cut. Sometimes you got to try to understand why they're doing it, listen to them. You'll hear a lot of stories from a lot of drivers, why they did it. You kind of got to weed through the BS sometimes, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, if there's just blatant cheating and we catch it, if you can't get it out, well, more than likely you're loading up. Unfortunately, we've had to do that a few times too. But everyone's trying to get the upper hand, and you just got to try to catch it. Not saying we're perfect, but some drivers probably do get away with some things.
Which I'm sure that I'm kind of an overbuilder of things, right? So if I would I joke with JR and Joey Turbovich, I'm like, oh, you just take some old fence pipe and throw it in there, they're like, no, but I would have some gussets and whatever. But so if you see that and it's clearly a safety thing, you're not going to kick a guy for trying to be a little safer.
I think derby drivers are the best at reading in between the lines and reading every gray area there is. So when there's an extra gusset when it shouldn't be there, I definitely got to call them out on it, stuff like that. A lot of people are good at fading metal into the frame.
Yeah.
And we got to try to identify it. That's also a reason why we, have scopes and drills and stuff like that. If we feel we need to do that, we'll do it. But not too often do we have to get that stuff out. But
but if someone has something, do they have a time limit to get it out, or you kind of okay, I found this, you got
so they
10
have
minutes to cut it out, or what?
No, there's not really. You have till so the derby starts at 6 p.m. I want to have a drivers meeting at 5:30. All the drivers need to be there for that meeting. So 5:30 is your cutoff. You need to have your car already re-inspected, done, and flagged or loaded.
Okay. Do you have do you put a paint on them? Do you have a sticker? How do you know that someone's?
So we have a good team. Not only my inspectors, but Bridget and team she has. I also have my sister-in-law helping. We make cards out. So when we find something on a driver, they may have one thing or they may have 10 things, but they write it down, they hand it to the driver. When they come back, they are supposed to return that back to us, and then we go and re-inspect and make sure those 1 to 10 things are done. If not, they need to go back, get it done, or if it's not to our liking, they'll have to just get it done and come back again, bring that card with us. So if we didn't do that, there's no way we could remember what everyone had to go back for, and so we do that, and it's been working out really well there.
That sounds like pretty good slot there. Kind of talk about, because I've seen in the comments people talk about, why don't you run this class? And I'm assuming in this kind of thing there's a trillion classes.
Yes.
I mean every and somebody will call something like your minivan class, they'll call it something completely different just because they want to be. But what's some classes that you would like to have go, but you just maybe don't have the car count?
Well, that's kind of hard to tell. Trying to read the environment, what people are kind of looking at. That's kind of why I went with the classes we have. That way we can try to get the beginners and also the veterans. The weld class, they call it modified. They call it super stock all around the derby world. And they're all a little bit different. There's a few ideas that I have for future of some other classes that might gain some interest, but haven't quite announced them yet.
Yeah.
But I think we have the basics for everyone's liking. The minivans really excite people. It's quite entertaining.
I laughed when you said it. I was like, okay, this might be a good little deal here.
One fun thing we've done at some shows is stick a flag out in the middle of the arena, and the drop of the green flag for the minivans. Whoever is the first one to get it gets a little bit of money in their pocket. That's been kind of fun and entertaining. Them guys will go after it, man.
Yeah, that might be a pretty good little show. So I'll go back to the video JR made. So he sent it to me as soon as he got it done, and then I went over there to the Glassman and saw him on this week, and they were like, he was like, watch this hit, So kind of explain when you're talking about like aggressive hits, kind of give the guy that doesn't know anything, kind of explain what you mean on like an aggressive hit.
Yeah, we got to make some kind of contact, make some dents in the other cars. There's a lot of guys that will do a little bit of, they'll push it to 45 seconds, 50 seconds, and they'll do a little slide job on someone. Maybe scratch a little paint. That, to me, that's not what we're promoting. I just want to make sure everyone's trying to put on a little bit better show for them spectators. And it's a fine line. I know that scratching is making contact, but you got to be able to make some kind of contact where you're
push a fender in.
Yeah, push a fender in, do something, and that's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah.
So I think JR calls it a stadium hit. Is that a thing?
Well, it can be.
Okay.
See if they can get the crowd in the stadium on a standing ovation. That'd be a hell of a hit.
That's it. Okay. Because in the video there's some that must have started on the other, and they run all, and then the driver, he's going crazy, and it doesn't show the crowd, but I'm sure, is that what that means?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I think that's all I got for what's going to happen Saturday night. Oh, I do have another thing. Combined derby. So I remember this as a kid as the combine derby, and then our crew over at Humboldt, they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and a bunch of farmers, and that we were talking about having the derby here, and they're like, oh man, I wish they had combine stuff. That was so cool, and me and John Allen are like, oh, that's crap everywhere. But
I have seen them before.
Have seen them. Is that something not on your scope of interest?
Well, like I said, you kind of got to check your environment out. If Humboldt's on my list someday, you never know. I might have to look into that. But no, it definitely was entertaining when I watched it. The one thing I see, though, is, wow, that's a lot of big rigs bringing in combines. Then they're bringing in the headers. Then they got to weld the header on when they get unloaded, bringing spare tires and stuff. 2 truckloads, and wow, that's quite an event, and just to get a combine and go crash it. So I hadn't really thought much about the combine. They've kind of died out in the past 10 years or so, but it was entertaining when I did watch it.
Yeah, it was a good time. Arena shot.
Yep, that's
is that different from a stadium shot?
Not really. Okay. I mean, there's guys that can put on a heck of a show, and they're going from one end of the arena to the other. Not pressing on. Their brakes are hitting the other car. So
let's see. So before we move on to you, JR has some ask if he liked watching me.
Well, heck yeah. when you get loud in.
Yeah. I have to ask him. Like I said, he's the greatest derbier in history when Katie's not around. And as soon as Katie's around, he don't want to talk about it. So she may have different stories.
No, he ran Newton a lot back in the day when we were all derbying. And we never really ventured.
He told me you were scared to come down.
Yeah,
to
I
Newton.
tell you what, the competition there, I just don't know if I could have handled it.
Oh, we can't make his head any bigger than it already is. He brought up something about the stick. If you get hit after you break your stick, you got to jump out of the car, drag the other one out, and then he says some words I can't say here.
Well, let's not hope that. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But hopefully, everyone keeps a cool head. Unfortunately, it does happen every now and then. Someone doesn't see that stick, but as long as everyone can kind of keep a level head and less problems. So,
pre-register. Have you had some pre-registration?
No, I haven't got set up yet with pre-registration. I've had a lot of phone calls, text messages, messenger, all over the state so far for the past 2-3 months now. It's been gratifying. Just a lot of people interested, telling me they're going to come. I'm hoping for more than 60 cars come Saturday night. So hopefully even more than that. Hopefully the weather holds out and go from there.
What is your car count record for a show? Is it the 59?
59 cars last year.
So we're looking to break a record.
I'm looking to break a record for 716.
We're in for that. We love to. We've actually helped a couple traveling series break a car count record. So we're 100% into that. We're here to help as much as we can. So since JR was self-proclaimed greatest in Newton, you're from a little bit farther north. So how did you get into this?
No, this all started, to be honest with you, my dad Lonnie, he started back in 1977, came back from the Air Force, and his buddies and cousin told him, man, you got to run this demo derby. He's like, what the hell's a demo derby? Anyways, they threw a car together, knocked the glass out, and he ended up in the first heat. Never even seen a derby, and ended up going out there, and didn't last too long. And he goes, this could be a lot of fun. Do a little few things here and there. So after that, fast forward a lot later, my brother Jason, he started in, I think, 93 at age 16. And then I come around at 2000 at age 18 and just started derbying. Started learning how to do this stuff. And there's one of the greatest times that all three of us had. 2003, we ended up going 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, Jason beat us all out of it. But you know what? We put Dad in third, though. We haven't heard the end of that one yet.
You got to take them where you can. That's for sure.
But no, that for our family at Hillsboro, at our hometown, that was one of the funnest, most exciting things for us. My brother and I got to enjoy that a few more times at some other shows where it came down to 1 and 2. We always wanted to, even though it came down to us 3 and us 2, we always tried to finish our cars off and give the crowd the show that they deserved. A lot of people probably didn't agree with all that, but those hits hurt, and so that's kind of how it all started. It's been a lot of fun, not only us friends and family building cars together, working together, the stories inside the shop. And then now my nephew, Jason's son, he's now getting into it. He's been kicking some butt lately, and he's looking forward to this show. He's never driven here. So he's looking forward to this. He's got a car built, and hoping he's entering in the Hobo Outlaw class. So he's venturing in from bone stock up into a welded class. So it'll be kind of new to him. It just continues on with our family, and it's just been a lot of fun.
So you said 77, your dad came back. So in 77, what kind of car are you derbying in 77?
Actually, I think that year, I think he actually had a 77 '70s model LTD.
That wasn't that old. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. So, in the '80s, he asked if he could run a station wagon at Hillsboro, and those wagons were 71 through 76, and here he
Okay.
was in 85 and 86 is only 10-year-old car,
Yeah.
and they all kind of laughed at him. Yeah, you can run a station wagon, and they didn't laugh no more after that wagon showed up.
I
So
guess that probably goes back to the time where my dad always tells me when the time he bought a Hemi Cuda for like $2,300 or whatever. So I'm sure one of them was a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, free cars to $50 cars back then,
So the station wagon, that was the car to
That
have,
was
and what's in the derby world, what is the reason for this? Is it just more reinforced on the station wagon?
they can take a lot of beating.
Okay.
They have a lot of iron in those bodies, and frames are good. They hold up strong. That's the one thing I forgot to mention about our weld class is a little bit different than a lot of people's weld class. We do allow cars that have been outlawed for a lot of years, such as the 64 through 73 Imperials.
Okay.
With the way we've allowed the welding, a lot of cars you can have a 2003 Vic and newer. Those frames are unbelievable, and with the welding that we allow, they can be just as competitive as the Imperial and the Suicide Lincolns and stuff like that. So going back to the wagons, those are awesome cars even to this day. But you got the Caddies now, Vics, wagons, Imperials. It's just there's a lot of cars you can do.
What was your first car?
My first car would have been a '73 Plymouth Fury.
Wow. Yeah, that was
73 Chrysler New Yorker. Then my second car was a Plymouth Fury. Yeah.
And what like classes, everything evolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you started, does that class no longer exist, or is it kind of still around?
So that class, and there used to back then there only used to be one class.
Okay.
So that has now kind of turned into our outlaw hobo class.
Okay.
All minus the extra plates on the frames. We weren't allowed to weld plates on the frames, but I do allow 3 per frame rail. So on that, but that would be one of the biggest differences. But really, that class is there again from what we did back in the day. So
right. How do you come up with the rules? Like you said, I allow 3 plates on side, so that tells me that someone maybe allows 5 or allows 1. Do you look at other people's rules and try to come up with the best economical standpoint? Because that's one thing that I will always praise JR and John Allen for, is something happens in the racing world, they're going to look at it. Okay, we need to make a rule change, or we need to add a rule, but we can't affect a cost thing.
Yeah.
So I know that's a little bit different on your side, but always looking at what's economical for the racer.
Yeah. With our years of experience, we've went through a lot of different rule changes, driving, and then also now doing this. I do look at probably 10 different promoters' rules, read through them, try to kind of put some things together, but I also have my twist of things that I like to see, and incorporate them in the rules. We also listen to the drivers. We can't please everyone. We know that, but we got to listen to them. If there's some things that are bothering them or costing them a little bit too much money, we have to take that into consideration and help them out.
Yeah.
So it's a mix of a lot of people's different things, plus a twist of my own, and then also listening to some drivers. And I know I don't get it right every time, but I'm never going to get it perfect. I think every promoter could tell you that. So.
We hear it every Friday and every Saturday. We don't ever get it right, but keep showing back up the next week and help it out.
Yeah.
JR must be going to dinner here. So, he said, of course, you and your brother were badass, feared by many, and the funnest to watch in the state.
Well, thank you. We tried. We wanted to always put on a show for everyone. That was our biggest goal.
Let's talk trophies, because I love trophies. I actually make a few trophies for some of the races that we have here. So every once in a while I'll get a phone call. Hey, I heard you made the trophy, and we always talk about it. So, seen some cool trophies get made. So, kind of, what's the coolest trophy you have?
The coolest trophy I have, I stand 6'2", and this trophy is almost taller than me.
Oh, wow.
It's a 4-post trophy that I won at Hillsboro one year. I think everyone was shooting for that thing, but
when you talk about Hillsboro, is that like the county?
Marion County Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was an awesome one. The ones that hold a special place with me is the 1, 2, 3 finishes with me, Jason, and Dad. And also just the 1, 2 finishes with me and Jason. We got a lot of pretty cool things. My dad, he won his share of derbies, but back in those days, 70s and 80s, it's a little tiny 2-inch, 3-inch little thing, and he's like, "What the heck?
Yeah,
this ain't
cool
right."
Stuff these days, yeah.
So now these days, we're trying to find wall hangers for guys to put on in the shops while they're building cars. We make these big old checks these days. Thanks to Mike Hill with Hill Job Graphics. He helped me out this year for this. He created some badass some trophies for this deal. So I'm happy. I'm excited to hand them out. Got a little surprise there. Plus we also am going to give out a wall hanger overall Mad Dog award to whoever that is Saturday night. A little surprise there. I'm not going to talk about it here, but I'll mention it to all the drivers, and we'll discuss it later on throughout the year. But got something brewing there, and I hope people really enjoy it. So
yeah, that'd be cool. There's a big, I don't know, do you guys call it a race? Or what do you guys call an event? Just a derby?
Derby.
Okay, so there's a big derby. Is it in Salina, like the icebreaker or the?
Oh, you talking about Blizzard Bash?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So in Topeka, they have a big indoor derby. It's always been a 4-day event. I think they're actually changing some things up this coming year. It's usually held in November, I believe. And I think it's going to be a 2-night deal moving forward because they're going to like less classes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's bigger money. I think they're looking at 100,000 or something for first on something like that. I know I'm not quite for sure on that, but I think it's somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Doing some change in there. There's also some bigger events going on. Last year they had some promoters get together, and they had a derby in Bristol Motor Speedway. So yeah, these events are getting bigger and bigger. That's where the modifieds are getting built and running. So yeah, that's kind of that's why I'm hoping to really grow this 81 Speedway into a annual event, make this bigger and bigger, and working with Katie and JR and John Allen, the whole crew and team here have been awesome and welcoming. It's been exciting.
Yeah. Have you been to the Blizzard?
Yeah.
You've derbied in?
I have not derbied in it.
You've been there and hung out.
Yeah, I've hung out, kind of watched it. Yeah, I never quite lasted long enough in the derby world to be able to go and experience something like that. But all the drivers I talk to, when they drive into that arena, coming in those overhead doors, they say it's a feeling you'll never forget. So,
yeah. And when you talk about like the modified ones, is that like I've seen some videos and pictures, and people, they'll take like the trunk and smash it all completely. Yep. Is that like a modified?
Yep, that's usually modified. There's a lot of creasing and wedging and stuff like that. What makes it really modified is the plates on the frame, their engine cradles and tranny protectors, tying that all in with the cages, just trying to do everything they can to make them frames not bend as easy.
Yeah.
So they're quite impressive. There are a lot of work them guys do to them cars, but wow.
Well, I mean, there's probably more or the same amount of money in what a derby modified car would be is like what like we run our USRA modified,
yes,
probably it's about the same amount of money involved in that.
I'd hate to know what some guys have in them, but man, I tell you, it's fun to watch.
What's like the life expectancy out of you thinking like like Saturday night, someone's going to buy a car, or is it going to be done Saturday? They got to take it up to our friends at Broadway Truck and Auto and get it junked out, or maybe they try to fix it for the next one.
Good question. Yeah, that the bone stock classes, the 80s newer bone stock class, the compact and the minivans, more than likely that's going to be pretty much a one and done.
Okay.
Your outlaw hobo and your weld, they're going to try to. There's guys that are going to probably get to run them a few more times, maybe 2 or 3 more times.
Okay.
Now, when we were running, we were pretty disappointed if we had to run the car again. That means we didn't do good enough. So, but I do understand the money and time it takes to build those kind of cars. So I see why they're trying to get more than one run out of it. So,
another thing that I'm trying to reel back all the memories here. Tires.
Mm-hmm.
So some people will like fill the tires or
yeah.
How does that work with your rules?
You can buy up to 12 ply, 14 ply tires now. A lot of them, they'll call them forklift tires.
Mm-hmm.
Other guys will stuff another tire inside of a tire with a tube. Yeah, it may go flat, but it doesn't go all the way down to the rim when it does that sometimes. So there's I don't have a lot of tire rules. I'm kind of just run what you want as far as the tires go.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of stinks when when you do go out,
right?
For a tire, but yeah.
Okay. So kind of go over Saturday night a little bit more. So everyone's going to show up 10:30, I think is what we said.
Pit's open. Yep. Our inspection starts at 10:30.
Inspection starts at 10:30. So you'll come in the gate. If you've never been here to the Speedway,
yep.
On the south end of the property. So if you pull in off of Broadway, follow it around, there's a pit gate. Are you guys going to use the pit shack for sign in? Okay. So you'll pull up to the gate and then someone will direct you and you guys are going to pit in the infield.
Yes. I'll expect all the drivers to pit on the infield. Yes.
So we only do infield pitting, obviously for the Derby, and then we do it for our enduros.
Okay.
As far as our weekly championship stuff happens, for insurance purposes, no pitting in the infield. So people get a little upset, but a lot of the stuff that we've done here at the Speedway is because the insurance guy comes out and he starts slapping us on the wrist for stuff. So so you guys will. So if you're and hopefully you guys will share that. You can share this video on your Derby promotions page so everyone can kind of get some stuff. But if you've never been to the Speedway before, we recommend you pull in off of Broadway on the south end of the property. You'll pull around and you'll get lined up. You'll go to the pit shack, get your pit pass and all your necessary stuff signed or whatever you got, and then we'll direct you into the infield.
Absolutely.
And then will you guys exit the Speedway with the cars and come around to turn 4? Where are you going to do inspection at?
So we'll do the inspection just right behind the Victory Lane ramp.
Okay.
Where we'll stage at. Once they get inspected there and they get a stick, that means they've passed inspection. We will pre-stage the cars. They will not go back to the pit area where they're pitted at. They will be staged right around the turn 4 area on the low end. We'll have 5 different lanes for all 5 classes. That's kind of the reasoning behind that. I just don't want a lot of people around them. Don't need extra work being done after they've received their stick.
That was something that just I was going to ask. Like some races, not really in too much in dirt, but sometimes it happens like in NASCAR or any car. The car goes through inspection, then it's in quarantine.
Yep.
No one can be. I got maybe the driver, the crew chief around it, but no one.
Correct.
Because I can, people are sneaky, they can read between the lines a little bit. You take it back to the pit and we do a couple things to it. So you put them in a not really a quarantine area, but away from their trailer.
Correct.
Away from wherever and you have officials kind of monitoring, making sure no one's walking over there with some wrenches and doing
they need to come talk to us first before they do anything. We'll usually probably just go over there with them real quick, make sure they're not doing anything extra. But we kind of just keep an eye on that throughout the day, make sure it's not getting out of hand.
Yeah. So you've brought up your graphic. Is it Hilltop?
Hill Job Graphics.
Hill Job. Apologize for that.
Yeah.
Hill Job Graphics. Kind of think some of the other partners you guys have. I was kind of scrolling through the Facebook page, and I know you got some people that are working hard alongside with you.
Yeah, so I got hooked up with Josh Weber. He is making bumpers for derbies
Okay.
now, trying to get into some fabrication, trying to help derby drivers. They can purchase things from him. He'll be set up here with bumpers. He's going to first set up in the infield area for a little while, let drivers see what he has, what products he has. Then he'll move over here in the general mission area and let people see also what he has. Mike Hill out of the Salina area with Hill Job Graphics. He's going to bring his trailer here. He is big into the derby world. He makes shirts, trophies, anything you can about think of, he does it.
Nice.
Comes up with a lot of different things. So I'm excited to have those two join us, and hopefully we can all help each other out, help 81 out, and kind of grow from this.
What else you got planned? I think you said this is the first one for you guys for the year. So what's on the docket for the rest of the year? Kind of shout those out and get some excitement going.
So what we started last year, and it seemed to work really well. This Saturday night is the beginning of our point series.
Okay.
We have started a point series last year. I think it went really well. Kind of revamp a few little things, nothing too big. But after Saturday night, we'll find out who our new points leader is to begin the season.
Okay.
And then we will move on into July, and we'll start at the Tri-County Fair in Harrington.
Okay.
That will be the second event for points. We have 6 shows. So after that, we'll end up in McPherson County at Canton for another event there. And then a week later, we'll be at Hillsboro, which would be the Marion County Fair. And then the county fair season ends for our team at Newton for the Harvey County Fair.
Okay.
Out of the 6 shows,
JR allowed into that one?
Well, I haven't.
Check it.
I might have to talk to the fair board, see what. So yeah, that's you have to run 3 of my events.
Okay.
To qualify for the points championship.
Okay.
For points, being a mad dog of your heat that night will get you quite a bit of points.
So what does the mad dog mean?
Mad dog means you were the overall heaviest hitter, most aggressive driver out there. So I want to reward those guys, not just the winner. Someone may win 5 derbies out of my 6. I don't want them to just have it that easy.
So you could have a mad dog winner and a derby winner.
Yes.
So it could be one person, but sometimes.
So my
2.
points, if I have 15 cars in one heat, you will get a point. So 15th place would be 1 point.
Okay.
And then it just goes on up from there. Now, if I have those 15 people in there and someone ends up getting a mad dog for that night, the winner of that event gets 15 points and the mad dog winner gets 20 points that night.
Okay.
So they kind of end up leaving with the points lead that night, especially on the first event come Saturday. So
yeah, big deal.
So it kind of makes you think, well, if I go back to another show, we got to at least qualify for 3, get 3 of them in, and then.
So you got to run 50% of the races that the derbies that you have to be able to in the points.
Yeah. So myself and my team, the wife, we all have to keep track of everyone's place for this. And the point series, it goes for the Bone Stock Compact, the Outlaw Hobo, and the Weld class. So the other 2 classes, I don't do a point series there, but those 3 I do.
So who's your defending champions?
So last year we had 80s and newer bone stock class, compact class, and weld class were my 3 classes we did points on. For the compact class, Dustin Looney out of Marion took the championship home. And then in the 80s and newer bone stock, he is now going to Outlaw Hobo this year, Landon Unruh from the Canton Galva area.
Okay.
And then that was a tight race in that one. It came down to first and second in the points battling at the end there. So Landon pulled it off, got the win there. And then for the weld class, Lance Diedenbrock
Okay.
out of Lincolnville area. He kind of did almost a clean sweep last year. He was dominant. So he had a big nasty caddy and
Okay.
won quite a few shows last year. So it was a good turnout for all those classes, and seemed like a lot of drivers had fun with it.
Yeah. You've mentioned a couple times about like outlawed cars.
Mhm.
So since you started doing promotions, have you outlawed any cars?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Nope. We've
So
actually,
you just kind of follow the trend of, if someone else outlaws this car, then that kind of goes into that rule.
you were asking about how reading other people's rules and stuff like that, and brother and I were going over rules trying to get set up for last year, and I kind of wanted to make a splash. We both did kind of do something different than everyone, and these county fairs, you just don't see these cars that have been outlawed for 20 years or more at them. And we're looking at our weld rules of what we allow. We're like, let's make this announcement. Let's allow these cars in, see what it does. Really didn't have a lot of them. I think it was so fresh and new that a lot of people may not known. I did have
drag them out of the weeds.
Yeah, so had a lot of calls about it. No one, not a lot of those Imperials and stuff showed up. But I'm hoping now that the second year we kind of bring some more in. I know last year I had one Imperial at the Marion County Fair, and then some 03 and newer Vics at a few of my shows last year. So hoping we see a little bit more of that old iron that's been outlawed for so many. I know them guys have it in the weeds back there, so hopefully they'll
some people never get rid of stuff.
I know it.
I guess a car gets outlawed just because it's too. You don't have to do a bunch to it, and it's just kind of dominant. Is that why they got outlawed?
Well, back then, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they were the Imperial frames were so big. It's a straight frame from front bumper to back bumper, and it's just they could go over and over again 7-10 times against all the other guys, and it was crazy.
So just tearing up, just winning derbies and tearing up other cars, and okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Any motor outlaws in the derby world? Is there, you can't have certain stuff?
So the 80s and newer bone stock, that if you have a Ford, you need to run a Ford engine. Chevy and GM engines, and so on. The compact class, that is no V8s in that class. Minivans, no V8s, just run. Those are just really bone stock. So now our outlaw hobo and our weld class is whatever you want to build for an engine and a drivetrain.
Okay, so you can mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have a Ford car with GM drivetrain, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for Saturday. You have a really great announcer. And I spoke with him the other day, and he's excited. He's ready to go, and
he's pumped up.
Yeah, he's ready to rip. He said, "Well, what time are you going to get there?" And I said, "Well, we race Friday night, so I'm not getting home till 2-3 in the morning, so I'm not waking up till 11." He's like, "Perfect, that's what time I'm getting up too." So we're going to meet up here, but he's ready to go, and so I'm looking forward to being here. I'll have we talked about I couldn't get here last night because I just got too many kids and too much stuff going on. So I will have two of my kids with me Saturday night.
Awesome.
My two younger ones. So
hopefully they enjoy it.
That my boy definitely will. My girl, we'll see how it goes. She might be attached to a tablet. I don't know.
Bring the headphones.
But my boy, he's my last little hope to get in a race car. So
there
we'll
you go.
see how that goes. Am I missing anything? I think we covered it all. We covered how to get in here.
Yep.
We went over your history.
Yeah.
Not scared of JR at all.
He can be intimidating at times.
Oh, I do have a question. Your wife is awesome. We've talked about that. Trophies in the house? I love to ask that question because every once in a while you'll get someone like, "Oh no, I got to take that right out to the shop," and then a couple of the trophies that I've made for some racers, that it was allowed to stay at least on the kitchen counter for a week or two, and then it had to go out to the shop.
Well, to be honest with you, we don't talk about it too much, but I'm pretty sure my brother and I are tied with the most first place
Oh,
trophies. So I think that's kind of why he hasn't officially announced his retirement on the Derby
oh,
world.
okay.
But so I'm not. I think we're pretty much tied there. Um, Unfortunately, I have a whole bunch of seconds that he doesn't have. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I don't like to brag about that too much
Yeah.
because I didn't finish the job. But no, yeah, there's quite a few trophies, and I don't know what to actually do with them. So,
You got him in the house or you got him in the shop?
got him in the house. My brother
Oh.
has a shop, and he has him
You got
his
him
out
displayed
there.
up.
So, yeah.
Yes, some wives are like, "Oh, take it. I don't want not in here. Wait, this is my domain, and you take that out to the
They're
shop."
good at collecting dust, but you still get to look at them, and it brings back a lot of good memories.
Yeah, good times. Well, man, I really appreciate you making the trip again. I'm sorry that you had to
No,
make a
it's
second trip, but
appreciate it.
it's I'm glad to meet you. I saw you when you guys started talking during the winter
Uh-huh.
time, but I had to get the show going that night. So I'm excited for Saturday.
Me too.
I think there's been quite a bit of excitement from our local Saturday night race fans. So I think they're going to come check it out and get going. Um, there is a little bit of concern about some weather stuff.
Yeah.
We don't ever like to say the R word
I know it.
around this deal, but does the weather really affect you guys that much?
The only thing, thunder and lightning.
Okay.
If we're gonna have that, obviously tornadoes and stuff. But I would like to say, rain or shine, we're gonna go. As long as that thunder and lightning can stay away. So
Yep.
that's my goal.
Nice.
We'll try to, if something does change, obviously 81 Speedway, our Facebook pages, stuff like that, 716 Derby Promotions on Facebook. We'll make announcements on there if anything's going to change. But
Nice.
we're looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Hope everyone can come out, enjoy the evening. Hopefully it's a good evening to enjoy, and let the drivers put on a hell of a show for them.
Yeah, we're all pumped up. JR, he
He
doesn't
texts me this week, and it's Derby week. It's Derby week.
Well, we've all kind of been messing with him. He's because like that's one of the most loyal race fans in all of the world, right? The guy loves racing so much he buys a racetrack. But the problem with it is he's working all day Saturday, all Saturday night. He's in the booth. He's helping score, so he never gets to actually watch a race.
Yeah.
He's really excited to just watch.
And that's our whole goal with our team is for these county fairs, these fair board members. We try to take a workload off of them. We're trying to help John Allen here at 81 Speedway. Whatever we can do to lighten your guys' load, we're here to help. We're here to try to make it easier for everyone. That's kind of the whole goal behind this. Hopefully, we get car counts up, good people in the stands, and everyone benefits from it. Hopefully,
yeah. I know it's early in 25, but as all promoters do, they look forward to the next year. You're trying to get to double-digit shows for the year in 26.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm already making twist to the rules as I go. That way, they're ready to rock and roll by the time the end of the season. So that's what we'll have. We'll have a points championship at the end of the season this year. So as I said, Harvey County will be the last points qualifying event. This year in Hillsboro, we will have what you call a Halloween hangover.
Okay.
That will be the points championship. And that will be October 25th. And we'll wrap the season up then. And once that ends, I'll already be posting updated rules for next season because a lot of these guys like to build cars during the winter sometimes and get some things knocked out then instead of the hot summers. So
absolutely,
but
it gets hot. Anyone wants to get a hold of you? They got a question, they got a comment, they got a concern, they got something. How can we get a hold of you?
Yeah, I have 716 Derby Promotions as a Facebook page. Also, my number's on all the rules. I can even give the number out now. If you need to call me, 620-381-4762. Just give me a call. I'll try to answer you as soon as I can. I usually don't like to keep people waiting. So I try to answer as best as I can, as soon as I can, and look forward to the calls.
Yep. Man, we're excited. We're ready to go. I think it's gonna going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, the first one I didn't really get to watch it, so I'm ready to actually watch this one. I'm going to be up in the booth,
Good.
helping out a little bit with the audio and making sure everyone can hear him, and we're good to go there. But it's going to be an absolutely fantastic night, and
It will
we're
be.
ready to go. And like I said, again, I appreciate you for coming out.
Thank you.
It's been a great conversation, and and we got this out here. And like I said, we'll hopefully you guys can share it on your page, and then that everyone will kind of know how to get in, and we'll talk about it. We can go, we can do some stuff on Saturday, some live stuff on the Facebook page, and
cool.
And so everyone can make sure they're in here and they get to watch a great derby.
Bridget, if you're listening, get that shared.
She does it absolutely. She's awesome. She does an absolutely fantastic job. She's right on the comments, and she's been
a big help.
She's a good one to go. We look forward to seeing you guys Saturday night. For everyone, we hope you can make it out and watch the Derby. It's a little bit something different than what we normally have, and I always tell people that we have a couple enduros that we run.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people to come out and watch the enduro because it's something a little bit different. But this is something way different than what we.
I got to come out here a month or two ago for a 150 lap enduro race.
Yep.
That was exciting to watch. That was pretty neat.
We got 2 of them a year, so
awesome.
Yeah, it's always a good time. We look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow night in Humboldt Speedway for weekly championship points action. We're going to get all the information out on the Facebook page tonight, and of course tomorrow we'll share updates. I know everyone's a little concerned about Mother Nature, but we got an eye on it, and we're trying to be proactive, and we never like to say the R word. We want to get racing. So I hope to see everyone over in Humboldt tomorrow night. You racers, listen up, still doing pit stop interviews. So if you want to get interviewed for the pit stop, get with me. I'll come to your trailer. We can do the quick little question. That's 15 questions. We'll get it recorded. And then, of course, as a YouTube exclusive content for Above the Cushion. So that is going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're looking forward to seeing you in Humboldt on Friday, or right here at 81 for the demo derby on Saturday. But if not, we'll see you next Thursday right here on Above the Cushion.